With the same starting 15 from the Ireland game, I don't think that's happened with the Wales side since 2019. Tell us your thoughts about those decisions.
Firstly, I thought the performance was decent. I thought it was as cohesive as we could have asked for with the amount of prep time we had. So it's a reward for that, really, to the players. So I thought probably across the board there were some really good performances, and I was keen to let them go again.
How much of a boost is it that Dewi Lake is back fit again and named among your replacements?
Oh, he's massive. It's a position of strength, actually. Obviously, we've got Evan and Sam Parry in the squad, and they could probably be rightly disappointed not to have had been selected this week. But Dewi coming back in, he's been captain of his country, captain of the Ospreys. Very, very good player. Just having him back in training last week, you could see his quality very, very easily. So he'll be massive for us, and it obviously will allow us to finish the game pretty strongly as well.
We were all pretty impressed with what you managed to do with the few training sessions you had before the Ireland game. You've had a few more since. I mean, what have you learned from this group of players in that extra time that you've had now?
Obviously, the fallow week was difficult because we only had 13 or 14 lads in. So I'd love to have had that week to continue the growth of the team. But it's just confirmed what I thought after the first 2 days, really. They're a really good group, very, very coachable. And this week has been, I would say, a step up in terms of what we've produced on the training field. So the challenge the kind of group set themselves really on Monday was, we're pleased with the performance, obviously not pleased with the result because they're all competitors, we all are. But can we do the same again and build a little bit more on top of that? So I think the passion, the effort was first rate. So it's matching that as a minimum, but then trying to build our game slowly as well.
Build-up, and I think it was the former Scottish international that said it would be incomprehensible for Scotland to lose to Wales on Saturday. Do you think they're guilty of maybe not showing Wales enough respect ahead of this game?
I don't really listen to the outside stuff. I know their coaches well, and I know a couple of their players have coached against them a lot of times, and I'm sure that between the two camps, inside the camps, there's a very healthy respect. You see the Ospreys go up to Glasgow last week and get a last minute win, which probably sharpens their senses a little bit as well. So yeah, I don't think there's a lack of respect from either squad.
Do you relish going up to Murrayfield as the underdogs?
Yeah, I can't wait. And listen, I know there's always a lot made of who's favourites, who's underdogs, but I think, like for me, it's a level playing field, and we go up there to try and win a game of rugby. And as I said, take a lot of the good things from last week and see if we can grow our game by 5-10% again. Cheers, thank you.
Matt, if I could just ask, obviously this week's a little bit different because you don't really have the element of surprise that you might have had against Ireland. Everybody has analysed what you did against Ireland with an inch of its life to figure out what you did to sort of turn things around a little bit. Scotland will now have a good idea of what you're going to bring. Does that change the challenge for you?
Not really, but it's a good question, because I think sometimes you can overthink that as a coach. I think I said last week, actually, the beauty of preparing against Ireland is you know what's coming, and there's always a little tweak, maybe with a line-out attack or a special play, but I think the best teams back what they do. So we'll obviously make slight tweaks, but I think you can go down rabbit holes if you start to overthink it. And what's Steve Tandy thinking? What's Gregor thinking? I think giving the group confidence in what we do is massive. So as most coaches have, we've got like a 90-10 principle. So 90% of the week is about us. 10% maybe slight adaptations depending on what the opposition are going to bring. But in terms of the space we're in at the moment, we're probably skewing that a little bit more, maybe 95% about let's get our game on the field, and then cut the tweaks, as I said, depending on what they're going to bring.
Because of the performance against Ireland, obviously it wasn't the result you might have wanted, but the performance was as encouraging perhaps as a lot of fans would have felt they've seen in a long time. That's going to bring a little bit of expectation now. We can go up to Scotland and get a result. Have you sensed that?
I've sensed a lot of positivity, which has been brilliant for the players, and probably on that as well. I think there's been a lot made of obviously having 3 training sessions, but I've got to say that the staff as a whole have been brilliant. So it's not been about me coming in at all. The other coaches, our defence, to was excellent against Ireland. Set piece very good, thanks to Humps and Bomb. TR's coming in, done a lot of the forward skills, so a lot of the phase shape has been coached by him. The medics, S&C analysts have been outstanding, like really supportive to me, and got right behind the players. So I think the players have definitely felt that support from the staff, and probably the icing on the cake, the support from the country as a whole as well. So I think that's given the players a major boost. As you said, it may add a little bit of expectation, but I think the players have got that themselves anyway. They want to go up to Scotland and build on what we've done rather than let last week be last week.
Question? No? Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, have you got one?
Henry Thomas, is that an injury or?
No, he missed the early part of last week, but he was fit. Kieran wasn't available for Ireland. He had slight injury, so Kieran's just come back into the mix. Been tough position to pick actually, because obviously Will was really good against Ireland, so deserved to go again. And then obviously Kieran is he's a good player, so he's got the nod this week. But between the three tight heads, it's pretty close call.
Sorry, can I just jump in with one more? Matt, obviously you're going away from home now. You don't have the emotional energy that Prince Parky Stadium provides. You don't have that sense of your first game in charge, the upheaval, your back's against the wall. Have you done anything to try to replace that sort of emotional energy that won't be there sort of naturally?
Not really, no, if I'm honest. I knew, like, I'm not naive. If I'm honest, out of the 3 games, first one at home with a change in the week, there was going to be an emotional response. We've got England at home next week, last game of the Six Nations. So I think that looks after itself. This week for me was always the one that's going to be a test of the squad, because we're going away. It's 2 weeks after the Ireland game. But what I sensed from the players pretty early on was a real determination to lift that emotion up from the Principality Stadium and take it to Murrayfield. Obviously, we won't have the familiarity of home and the support, but we've talked about celebrating little wins and making our own atmosphere. So that's a challenge going away from home, but it's one that the players are pretty used to.
Good.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Sorry, if I can